I've always felt a special connection to my Grandma Dahl. She passed away when I was 13 years old, but I will always remember her contagious laugh, her smile that would light up a room, and how talented she was on the piano. I have these core memories, but I wanted to learn more about her life, so I spent months sorting through anything I could find. There was one story I came across that left me with more questions than answers. She had the opportunity to study to be a concert pianist, but her parents declined, saying they wanted more for her. What did more mean? What did her parents envision for her life that a life as a professional pianist wouldn't fulfill? Let me back up a bit. Shirley Mae Johnson was born on April 16, 1926, to Harold and Mary Johnson. The oldest of 4 children, she grew up in Salt Lake City and lived at 616 Browning Avenue until she graduated from high school. It was at this house that she was introduced to the piano at a very young age.
Her father, Harold Johnson, was the one who promoted this whole idea of piano and music.
She was only about 4 years old when she started playing, but it was obvious right away that she had a gift. By the time she was 7, she was playing the piano over the radio, and her family loved gathering around the fireplace to listen.
She would play for them and they would dance around the living room because, that would be pretty much a lot of their entertainment back then. And listening to the radio and different things like that.
She took lessons from neighborhood teachers until she got too advanced for them, and then she took lessons at the McCune School of Music in downtown Salt Lake City, which is now known as the McCune Mansion. She had many recitals there, which were advertised in the local newspaper. One particular time, her teacher wanted her to learn a new piece of music. The teacher had the music opened when the phone rang, and she stepped out of the studio to answer it. She came running back and said, come quickly, someone is playing this new piece." It was Shirley. She had a gift of sight-reading music. Shirley's mother met a concert pianist named Mrs. Arfwedson. In 1936, Mrs. Arfwedson went to Austria to receive the highest degree possible for a teacher of piano. On her way home, she visited the Johnson family. She heard Shirley play the piano and begged to take her back home to California with her, saying she could become a concert pianist and travel the world. Shirley's mother and father declined the offer, saying they wanted more for her. Even though she didn't become a professional musician, music was still a huge part of her life. She graduated from South High School. She was an excellent accompanist and accompanied musical productions at the University of Utah and Brigham Young University. She was also the accompanist for the Schubert Singers, Salt Lake City's longest continuously performing ladies' chorus. She served a mission to the Hawaiian Islands and was instrumental in planning musical productions to celebrate the centennial of the church being in Hawaii. After her mission, she went out on a first date with Paul Eugene Dahl to a dance at the Old Coconut Grove. Here's Paul telling the story of the night he met Shirley.
And I'll never forget, the first thing that I remembered was her smile. I thought, gee, this could be a nice evening. And we went out that night and had a great time together. And it was about 10 days later that I called up and she wasn't home. And Mary answered the phone. And she said, oh, Shirley's going to feel so bad that she missed you because she had such a wonderful time the other night when you were out together. I just know she's going to feel so bad.
Before the summer was over, they were engaged and got married at Christmas time in 1951.
I mean, she was an amazing piano player, and I've heard stories that she could have gone professional, but she didn't want that life. She wanted to be a mom and stay home with her kids.
Shirley and Paul's life together was full of the things that mattered most to them. They had 5 children, 4 boys and a girl. They traveled all around the world and lived in many places across the U.S. She taught piano lessons. He worked for the church education system. They served their church in many different capacities.
She and her music and the piano was a hugely consistent thing. And we always had a piano. I'll bet there wasn't a day she didn't have a piano in her house.
Her love for the gospel, her compassion, her kindness, her love for the family. Yeah, that was first and foremost, and the fact that she could use music to bring people together.
She was just an amazing lady, and I feel like I have a really special connection with her, like spiritually. She just had a lot of grace and was just kind to everyone.
So when she might not have done this or done that, I think if you were able to talk to her today, she would feel like she accomplished everything she ever wanted to in life, other than I'll bet she wished she could have lived longer to see her grandkids grow up a little bit more.
Which brings me back to this picture of how I remember my grandma. I also wish she had lived longer so I could have gotten to know her better, and I know my siblings and cousins would agree. But after learning more about her, I can confidently answer the question that I had. What did her parents want for her more than the life of a world-famous concert pianist? They wanted music to be part of her life, but they also wanted her to experience the love of a husband and children. They wanted her to be faithful and serve others with her talents. I believe that she did all of these things in a full and beautiful life with no wrong notes.